Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Riverbend Talon on the Big Z on a stormy Thursday. I guess watch out there, so watch.
There is a storm watch, so let's keep watching
Dennis,
for it.
And you're Pigpen.
I'm Pigpen.
And we're fully insured by Matt Van Boers from Macias Insurance.
He insures all my instruments that I buy from Halpin.
Right, which they have their new and used fully stocked set of band and orchestra equipment right now.
Yeah.
Because school started already. You remember starting
Thursday?
school like beginning of August?
No. My kids were telling me, oh, Dad, we start on Thursday. Like last week, they were saying we start next Thursday. I said, no, you don't. Well, no, they actually do. I feel like the summer has 2 more weeks left.
At least.
So
yeah. So I think I mentioned all the sponsors, and now our guest, Jack Twesten, in the studio tonight.
Hello, Dennis.
To join us.
Hello, Pigpen.
What is happening, Mr. Twesten? It's been a minute.
Man, it's storming out, apparently.
Yeah, well, but it's okay, because your plans when you leave here is to head just up the hill to Post Commons. That's a safe building to be in during a storm.
It is. My good friend Mike Keller's playing there tonight.
Yeah.
He's an old friend of mine, and they've started a new thing. We played there 2 or 3 weeks ago, Tyler Armstrong and myself, and they're kind of doing an acoustic music, trying to turn it into that kind of venue.
Yeah.
And,
Thursday nights.
It's an interesting room. It's the old, of course, the old post office building.
Yeah.
As you guys probably know better than I do. But
And I think Mike Keller's doing like Monday nights now at the Stagger Inn, right?
Mike is
like
doing
an
happy hour Monday
open
nights.
mic.
My good old friend Butch Moore is doing Sunday nights.
Again, thank God.
They're easing back into it. They're just starting with happy hours. We're missing our monthly gig there that we did for years, and I did 35 years ago as well. But they're easing back into it. No full bands yet at the Stagger, but hopefully that'll happen as we hopefully turn the second wave or whatever.
You don't have to say the N word. We've been avoiding it, right?
Okay. I thought we were on to the D word. I wasn't sure.
I don't know what words we can say anymore. We need a new list. Someone send me one.
There used to only be 7 words you couldn't say.
It was different like 20 minutes ago.
I met George Carlin one night, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
We were down with my kids, and my kids were really young, and I think it was Hannigan's, the place on the landing. I don't know why. We never went there to eat, but we went there to eat that night. Finishing up our meal, I look over, and there's George sitting there by himself. You know, and I thought nobody was bugging him or anything, and I went to the restroom and just kind of said hi as I walked by. I waited till he finished his meal, and then I stopped back by on the way through and just, said, don't want to bug you. But he was done eating and kind of sitting there finishing his beer, so we had a nice little chat.
Nice.
Great guy, as you would imagine he was.
Oh, yeah, an intelligent man and just hilarious.
Very funny.
He's very good at holding the mirror up to society and letting us see ourselves.
And making us think of things that we probably always had somewhere under the surface but never would have thought of.
Yeah.
Did we mention, my mind's slipping, did we mention the Jack Twestens with the Skylark Brothers?
Well, I know we've done that a couple times.
People who are going
over the
"Who's
last
Jack?"
few years when we've been here.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to catch the listeners up. Sometimes we forgot, there's 2 or 3 people tuning in going, I'm not sure who they're talking to, but
who do they have there? And
at least those people are used to that,
They've got Senator Jack Twesten on. Hopefully he'll talk about the deficit.
What the heck is that? Well, pork belly futures are looking really good. We can talk about that, but I don't know anything about pork belly futures. So.
Well, all I know is apparently pork bellies have a future, but mine isn't looking that good. Theirs are looking great. I don't know how that worked out.
Well, the live music scene was looking really good coming out of, coming into this spring, and we were booking dates, and actually in January and February we were booking dates into November already. But we started out kind of easing back in, like everyone was easing back in, only playing outdoor venues on patios, and thank God there were a lot of those.
Yeah.
We were blessed with enough places that people were putting up tents and doing this and that, and we had a couple that I went and looked at the venues that we'd played inside pre-pandemic, and then they put up a tent, but the tent was all closed in, and it was just like being inside. And I said, I don't think we're ready to do that. So we turned down a lot of indoor tent venues.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as the weather started warming up and patios all over were opening up, Played the Brown Bag down the street.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
You used to do like every Sunday, right?
I did every first Sunday of the month, either solo or with one of my many duo partners.
Right.
And then we did a couple band gigs this summer, usually 2 or 3 or 4. We are doing one more full band date there, which will be August 28th. And now that we're in August, I guess we can talk about August dates. So Saturday, August 28th, we'll be back at the Brown Bag Bistro on the patio.
And that is the full band, the Skylark Brothers.
That'll be the full Skylark Brothers band. Yeah,
nice.
Maybe even a fifth. I don't know. We try to cram as many as we can in there, but
you don't want to crowd the stage, but you want to get as much music as you can going.
Exactly. It's a tight little spot, and it's nice because it's outdoors and the food's great, and as you guys probably know.
Right. Yeah. So we want to get into the gigs you're playing the next couple weekends. We'll do that in just a minute. First, we got to catch up folks tuning in to find out where they're heading tonight. And we brought up the watch. Right.
There's a weather watch.
It's a short burst, so don't get discouraged. Let it blow through and then head out.
Yeah,
I just want to point that out. Yeah, it looks like one of those.
Looks like it's going to roll over in no time, and there's going to be a nice evening happening. It's cooled down from that 110-degree heat index.
But I know for sure a group of folks who are not discouraged at all by the weather. Matter of fact, they may be standing out in the rain with their Irish whiskey singing at the top of their lungs. And that is the sea shanties at Morrison's. It's always on Thursday nights.
That wouldn't surprise me a bit if they were loving this kind of weather. Let's get drunk and sing in the rain. That was a bad Irish.
It's really green. So,
Why
was an Irish pirate?
Yeah, army. What's going on? Why doesn't he work on that? So there you go. The Sea Shanty, 6 p.m. Morrison's Irish Pub every Thursday night happening down there.
Mm-hmm. We mentioned Mike Keller, 7 o'clock at Post Commons in Alton. Borderline, and Jack Twesten's going to be up there now. So we know that.
Well, I'm going to go say hi to my good friend Mike.
Right, yeah.
Sign autographs while you watch Mike play. People are like, we just heard you on the radio. That's right. At least that one wild fan we got that comes and bangs on the window every once in a while.
That's just a homeless person. That's not a fan.
He lives down the block.
Right.
Hey, I'll have you know we have over 200 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so somebody keeps thinking about tuning back in.
That's somebody. It's our small cult we're building.
Now we're getting down to the brass tacks.
Well, you get that theater opened up across the street, and then things are really going to boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
there's a plan. We got them playing local music down at the Amphitheatre now and all, and that was all because of Pigpen.
I saw Corey Evitts is coming in there, right?
Yeah, this weekend. And they've started doing local acts down there. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, right, when we started doing the show, people were complaining, our friends, why don't they have local bands down there? So we had the mayor on, and he kind of straightened us out. He's like, well, it's kind of not finished, right, was basically what he said. And he was trying to do other parks until then.
Yeah. It's part of the Park and Recs department.
Right.
The Amphitheatre is part of the Alton Park and Recs department, so they were busy fixing up other parks before they could get down to that one.
Gotcha. Kind of like our Wiley Theater in Edwardsville. They put it under Parks and Rec as well.
Sure.
Well, the next thing we know, there's an election, and that's what they're debating about, all the mayor candidates. They're like, we need more local music down in... And we were like, Pigpen, you did it again.
Pigpen for president.
It became a hot button debate.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just happy to see local musicians playing down there, and now they need to start bringing in national acts and letting the local acts open up for those national acts. That's the way it should be.
And diverse national acts.
Diversity
not
is
the same
huge,
kind of national act, right?
As much as I love
ages.
hippie Grateful Dead-esque music.
Yeah, let's mix it up a little bit.
And I love seeing Leftover Salmon play down there years ago. It was amazing. But it's got to be mixed up. It's not about me. It's about everybody. So
I'm sure Kenny Rogers rocked it.
Kenny Rogers in the first edition just dropped in to see what my condition was in.
Does he still have his drummer Mickey Jones with him? You guys know about Mickey Jones?
No. That sounds like someone who was in the Rolling Stones or the Monkees.
The Monkees.
Well, everyone thinks that, but I watched a documentary late one night. If we want to get off on a tangent right now.
We love tangents. We can get back to the open mic with Everhart and Lyda and Bankers and Hale in just a minute.
Try to make it quick, but I just told this story today, but because we were talking in the studio I was working in about music documentaries and this kind of stuff. And apparently there's a good one out about Kiss now, but anyway.
Interested.
late one night, I tuned in just as years ago, and I see this guy that looks familiar, and it's kind of stringy, long red beard, gap tooth, hippie looking guy, and it's like he was a guy that was always in the biker, he wore a jean vest and
the biker movies.
And that's Mickey Jones.
Okay.
So, but I thought, well, man, he looks familiar. Well, I saw him at the Mississippi River Festival because he was Kenny Rogers in the first edition's drummer.
Oh, okay.
But the backstory is that, and he had all this old Super 8 film that he was showing, and they were interviewing him. He was a young drummer from Texas or somewhere, and his mom won tickets to the Trini Lopez show. His mom takes him backstage at Trini Lopez, and they get to meet Trini, and she says, like most good moms, my son's a drummer. And something happened, and Trini Lopez's drummer fell ill, and he gets the gig, and he goes on the road with Trini Lopez Band.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tours the country for a year, and they were playing the Whiskey or somewhere out in California, and Johnny Rivers is in the crowd and meets Mickey Jones and hires him to be his drummer for a year. Tours with Johnny Rivers Band. The next year he's out there playing, and Bob Dylan sends him a card and says, I'm having a party. So he comes up and meets Bob Dylan, he said, for 5 minutes in the dock. And then 2 weeks later he gets a call, or a couple days later, from Bob's asking him to be his drummer, and he tours the world with Bob Dylan. And he's got all this old Super 8 footage of Bob getting in and out of cabs in Australia and stuff. And then he goes on to be a B-movie actor and playing biker in all these movies.
Right.
So if you remember, I think he was in like Every Which Way But Loose or one of those Clint
I know what you're
Eastwood
talking
movies.
about with the gap tooth and the red hair says a lot.
But who knew? I mean, thank God for moms, right?
Well, and
that is it. That's the magic that happens to get them off on the road. We just talked to Bonnie Bramlett last week.
I heard you had Bonnie.
Yeah, so that story's similar. She's just singing in a bar, and here comes Ike and Tina Turner, and the rest is history.
Right.
There's a lot more to it. You can check out the video.
There's a few more details that we're skipping
well,
over.
What a segue, because Tyler Armstrong, who plays guitar in the Skylark Brothers, has done some recording with Bonnie, and of course Dave Toretta, our Skylark Brothers bass man, has engineered and recorded Bonnie.
Nice.
And I actually got to sing a little backup on something she did too, so that was fun.
Right. Nice. Is that the Let's Stay Together song?
I missed that one.
But
Dave that was Michael McDonald. And, Dave
Bonnie.
Produced that, and Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a great video.
Cast
it's on
a lot of others, It's
on Casa de Toretta.
Where can we find that, Dennis?
Casa de Toretta.
Casa de Toretta, yeah. That's Dave's studio over on the hill.
Dome de Esta, Casa de Pepe.
Steve Martin taught me that on the air.
Steve Martin taught me that. I don't know what he's saying to this day, but I repeat it a lot.
You have just upset our Spanish community.
I thought that was French.
I don't.
It wasn't.
Parlez-vous français? So, I don't know what's going on. Hey,
so you guys are the Skylark Brothers. Have you ever done a show with the Far Gone Brothers?
I have not.
Because those guys have been around for a while.
the Sandwich Brothers?
And I'm familiar with a few of those Far Gone Brothers. Yeah.
They're doing a park show tonight, but it's at 7, so hopefully the storm blows
Hopefully the
through.
storm's gone. You got your weather radar eye on there, Dennis?
Yes, let me refresh it.
7 to 8 p.m. It's supposed to happen at the Central Park in Bethalto, Illinois, with the Far Gone Brothers. So hopefully they'll get that one in. Hopefully the rain will blow over and they can squeeze it in.
The Grafton in the Park, music in the park's at 7 tonight too. George Ports and Friends of Bluegrass.
I know George. George is a great guy.
Yeah.
George has helped my son's bluegrass band, the Silver Creek Bluegrass Band. Derek Twesten, my son, plays guitar and mandolin in the Skylark Brothers on occasion when I can get him.
Yeah.
But he's busy with his own band, the Silver Creek Bluegrass Band.
They play quite a bit.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I think this week maybe they're up at Aries up the road.
Okay.
I shouldn't have his schedule, but I have a hard enough time keeping a track of my own schedule.
They hadn't posted. Aries usually posts by now, but they hadn't this week for whatever reason.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the park tonight? Oh, and that was it. Okay, anyways, Lively, 7:30 to 9 at JJ Thermos tonight. Graham Band. There's another George. George's local brew in Jerseyville, 7 to 10.
Graham Pagano.
Right.
Yeah. He's turning 50. He's an old man now.
What?
Yeah.
50.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, Graham.
He's my nephew.
Look pretty good, Graham, for being that much younger than me.
He's a good dude. He's an all right fella. We also got Scott Marlin, 6 p.m. at the Old Herald Brewery in Collinsville. Another friend of yours, huh? You know everybody, man.
Yeah.
I've got 7 guys I know. That's it.
That's 7
Kevin
words.
Bacon, one of them?
Kevin Bacon is one of them.
Right.
What else we got going on?
Arnold Gilden, 7 o'clock at Deutz Village Inn tonight.
Nice.
Ashley and Ethan, 6 to 9 at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey. And the Shotgun Creek Band, 7 o'clock at Silver Creek Saloon in Bell Bell on a Thursday night.
There you go. On a cool Thursday night. We'd call it rainy, but that's going to go away. So.
A watchy. We're just watching for a minute, and then it'll go
Waiting
away.
and watching.
I'm in watch mode.
It'll be nice and cool after this blows through about 7 o'clock. Hopefully they haven't bailed at the park already saying, nah, let's not
Stay
even
there.
mess with it.
Stay there, park folks.
Right. That's nice after a storm blows through and playing. I've always enjoyed that.
Especially when it's been 110 heat degrees that day. It
It was
always brings
easily
the
a 20-degree
coolness
drop just on my way up here.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. That is our Thursday night in the Riverbend area. Most of Jack Twesten's friends are out playing this evening.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
A handful of them, anyway. What else we got? We're going to go through the Friday evening?
We could do that unless you're still itching to get to that question you've been wanting to ask Jack Twesten on the last 2 shows that never got to, and we could segue into that for a minute.
Okay, well, that question, can I ask that on the radio?
I
Because
think
it's very
so.
personal. Can you, excuse me, Dr. Twesten, can you look at these and tell me?
I think you're going to be okay.
The one's swollen like a grapefruit. I don't know.
I don't think that's what's meant by Jack Built Productions,
Jack Bill.
which is his company, right?
That's right. Jack Built Pictures, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I borrowed that from the Peterbilt truck design when I started the company in 2005, and it's a TV film production company. I've been blessed with a lot of work lately in where I've been able to combine music and the love of the film.
Yeah.
So I think last time in I brought you some copies of KSHE Doc.
And it was a KSHE
Did you
Doc.
get to
There was
watch
a
it?
certain band. There was a you dropped one off of the Gypsy. Yeah, I was gonna say you
Gypsy
dropped
Live at the
one off-
Wildly Theater.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah. Those are still all available.
And those are made from
And
your
all Skylark
your company
Brothers
made
gigs.
those.
Gypsy, my company did in conjunction with a company out of Minneapolis. Red 23 Films, actually a couple different production companies.
That's
Okay.
live at the Wildy.
Yeah,
Live
live
at the Wildly Theater. And all
Nice.
the good classic songs are on there that you remember. Dead and Gone and all those. The band was cooking on all cylinders that year. I think we did that in 2015. And it was edited from 2 performances. Hopefully you can't tell, but
They did back-to-back nights.
Back-to-back nights, and actually I think we shot back-to-back like a Saturday afternoon and evening, and picked the best stuff. And James Walsh, who's a friend of mine, liked it well enough to say, yeah, let's put it out and see if we can sell a few copies. So yeah, available at all Skylark Brothers gigs, as is the KSHE documentary produced with my friend Ron Stevens,
Yeah.
who you know from
Ron
back
Stevens,
in
the old
KSHE
KSHE
your,
days. Oh,
can
yeah.
we say that? I guess
absolutely we can. Yeah, Ron
Man.
Stevens, a KSHE legend.
How many bands did he break?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he brought J.D. Blackfoot to the table. He certainly brought Pavlov's
Gypsy?
Dog.
Gypsy was one of them?
Gypsy, not so much. I mean, I'm sure he perpetuated it, but actually that's how I met him, was through James said, we were big in St. Louis. I said, I know you were. And so I'm trying to think of how it went. I called my old friend Rich Dalton, Radio Rich.
Radio Rich.
He steered me towards Ron, actually, and went and had lunch with Ron, and we talked for an hour and a half, and then so I interviewed him for the Gypsy documentary, which is different than the Gypsy Live at the Wildly Theater DVD. We're sold out of those copies, so I don't know if we have to, where do they do that? It's now a cutout, so if you find them, maybe it's worth a lot of money. I don't know how that
You
works.
have to make another, you have to reissue it.
Reissue. There you go. It has to be a reissue.
There you go.
Reissue, right.
Now, we love talking about KSHE 95 on this show because that was our life, too. I mean,
Sure.
and our older brothers specifically got to experience more of the, the
Early
underground years,
Right.
I would say,
Right.
the building of
I was
the
the same way.
monster.
Had older siblings, but yeah, the KSHE documentary is about that because Ron was the program director from 71 through 79 or so, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's in the doc. If you
I was gonna say, it's
Never
in-
Say Goodbye, the KSHE documentary, all that's in there. And if you have a copy, make sure you watch the special features because there's a lot of side stories that didn't make the 94.7 minutes of the full-length doc. If you saw it on Channel 9, they cut out about 20 20 to 30 minutes just to fit the PBS format. So
yeah, that sounds
so you need to get a copy of that and watch the whole thing.
That sounds like Ron broke one of my all-time favorite bands in, and that was Rush. I've always heard him talk about getting played in St. Louis.
Well, I think one of their first big performances at the KSHE Kite Fly, which I was at.
Yeah.
There's a Rush open for Charlie Daniels, ironically. And there's great stories about that from those guys who worked the show and everything.
Sure.
There's a live recording of them, too, that was recorded in St. Louis. And KSHE used to play, like, concerts. Remember?
Wow.
They'd actually broadcast them.
Live, yeah. Well, the 62 Chevy station wagon that Rush left Forest Park in that day, I was walking with some buddies, and one of them nudged me and said, "Look out," and put his arm in front of me. And so I stopped walking, and I look up, and here's this station wagon rolling by, and the Rush boys in the back, Geddy Lee, looking up in his round glasses, giving me the peace sign as he almost ran over my foot.
Right.
Yeah.
But, got the Neil Peart's drums in the back of the station wagon.
They may have been.
It'd be more impressive if they were driving a 1970 Skylark convertible.
Which people ask, why don't we ever see that car at gigs? And I'm like, I can't fit all the gear in there. Yeah, I've had my 70 Buick Skylark convertible for 43 years this summer.
Yeah,
gotta get a trailer and tow the gear in the trailer.
And it's a driver, it's a convertible, so it's fair weather car. I took the AC out years ago, but I drive it on nice days. Like this weekend will be nice, but I can't drive it Friday because we're playing a duo with my son Derek at the Corner Tavern.
Corner Tavern in Edwardsville.
The good old Corner Tavern.
Yeah.
It was Ronnie B's. It was in the movie Stingray as Ronnie B's. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I've been trying to find a copy of that.
Yeah, there's one of the scenes in that movie. I own a piece of property right on Harris Lane out here, and it's on a hill, and they filmed one of the jumps in that movie that hillside.
Well, Dick Taylor, the director, is an old friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
And I used to give him a hard time. So, okay, so you turn the corner off Main Street in Edwardsville, and you're in Wood River all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But only those of us who knew the area would know that.
That's so cool. I'd love to see that again. Because I remember seeing it when I was young, and I like to revisit.
They did a screening, and every once in a while, I think they still do a screening at the Wildie.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. What else is going on Friday night real quick? Corey Evitts, 6 to 10 at the Liberty Bank Amphitheatre in Alton. As Jack mentioned, they're doing the pianos down at Ragin' Cajun. Remember, they still got the GoFundMe going for Gary Cooper's medical expenses from his accident. Anthony, Nanney, and Scott Davis, 2 to 6. Hollywood 5, 7 to 11 at Fast Eddie's Bon Air in Alton. Jeremiah Johnson's playing Friday night at guess where?
Chubby's.
That's right.
Everybody's raging for a Chubby burger.
He'll be raging from 6 to 10. So he's doing pretty good, 4 hours of raging.
That's to handle a Chubby for 4 hours. To handle being at Chubby's for 4 hours.
We'll be there Sunday.
Yeah. So
you're heading Skylark Brothers down there Sunday?
Yep.
Nice.
Sunday, August 15th, 3 to 7.
That sounds like the place to be.
You want to do the long one? Because it's you got to explain it, and I think it's going.
Here we go. Private party, 5 p.m. Doors at 5 at the Lounge Bar at the Sunken Garden Dining Room and Patio. Closed private party until 8 p.m. and then open till the public. Agents of the Free live show starts at 7. I believe the Crickets and the Grilled Avocados is also supposed to perform there.
That would make sense. All the same people.
Yeah, I believe that they are also going to be performing there, and that's going to go on from 8 to 11 at Chez, Marilyn. And again, happy birthday.
I don't know if that's... You better make sure that's not a party.
This is it's a private party. I don't know what it is.
We do lots of private parties.
Yeah.
Oh. So there you go. That's all happening down at Chez, Maryland on Friday evening. Agents of the Free, and again, I believe Cricket and the Grilled Avocados also will be performing.
But there's that whole thing if you're heading down that it's private for a little while and then open.
It is private and then open to the public at 8 p.m. So there you go.
There you go. Tragg Band, 7 to 11 at the BFW in Alton. Every Little Thing, 7 to 11 at Baker's and Hale and Godfrey on Friday. Cabin Fever, 7 o'clock at JJ Thermos at Eastgate and East Alton. They're back fired up. Southside Bloozy Boys, 7 o'clock at the Moose in Wood River. And we have a grand opening weekend happening this weekend.
All right.
Remember Chico's?
Oh, yeah, down in Wood River. Yeah.
Now it's called Martin's Tunes and Eats. And any bar that puts tunes in their title
I like it already.
Good start, right?
Hopefully it's a good listening room.
Yeah, so Chico's isn't bad. It's kind of a small place.
I was going to say small, but it wasn't like a big echo chamber or anything. You had a nice little tight sound in there.
You got like the bar room, and then you got like a back smoking lounge that's pretty decent size. So, I mean, you can do both. If you get tired of standing and listening to the band, you can step outside, still probably hear the band.
Sure.
Right?
There you go.
So, yeah,
Good for them. And nice for Martin to put tunes and eats in there.
Right.
So not just eats.
Yeah. So the grand opening starts Friday night with Westwind from 7 to 11.
Nice.
That's in Wood River, formerly Chico's. Martin's Tunes and Eats. Flip the Frog, 7:30 to 11:30 at Mark Lane's in Roodhouse, Illinois.
All right.
I like bowling lane gigs all of a sudden after Bonnie, and the whole Bonnie and Delaney where they were playing in that like gambling casino / bowling
alley. Yeah.
Right.
Man, there was a bowling alley in Pittsfield, Illinois we used to do in the 90s that was like, it was a bowling alley that had a stage on the right off the, and there was like a bar area, but like the bowlers could hear the music, and I'm like, is that distracting to them?
And the musicians could hear the bowlers.
It could hear the bowlers. It was a weird
Hopefully a timed strike right on like a cymbal crash or something.
All right, we're going to end. Everybody get ready to strike.
I've seen quite a few bands in the Bethalto bowling alley back in the day.
Yeah.
I used to do it all the time.
What was the Backside? He used to play up there all the time. The Palin. Can't think of his name.
Let's see. Staggering. We mentioned the 5 to 8 slot back going there. Robert Perry Band at the Stagger Inn on Friday night. Scott Marlin 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. Lanny and Julie at 7 at the Moose in Edwardsville. Dave Catini 7 to 10 at the Outlet at Edison's in Edwardsville. Skylark Brothers 7 to 10 at the Corner Tavern in Edwardsville. They got an open mic one night too with Butch Moore.
I think they do. I don't know what night.
I think it's Tuesdays. It's like an every other Tuesday or something. It's on the cottonmouth.org website. Let's see. Mike Sonderegger. Most E's and G's of any player in the area. 6 to 10 at the Global Brew in Edwardsville. Fabulous piano player, by the way. Fedorable, 7 o'clock at the Cabin at Judy Creek and Glidden Carbon on Friday. How about this one, Big Ben? Do that one.
Alice in Reverse, 9:30 at Patrick's in Granite City, Illinois.
All right, and our sponsor.
And then we got Money Shot. Yeah. Yep, that is Michael Crider's band from Farmers Insurance. Boom, 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 boom. That is happening 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. at Deutsch Village Inn in Pontoon Beach. You played down at Deutsch yet, Mr. Twesten?
I've talked to quite a few people who have played there and, asked us to play there, and we just never fit it in yet. So.
Yeah.
Well, everybody we talk to who has played there says it's a party. Yeah. Those people like to kind of get up on the table and dance type people.
You got listeners instead of watchers, if that makes any sense. They're more active crowd.
They're into it.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Let's see, 10 String Dream, 6 o'clock at Old Harold Brewery in Collinsville on Friday. Butch Moore and Friends, 5:30 to 8 at the Legion in Collinsville. Down at the Legion.
Bubbles. Every time I see the word Legion, all I can think of.
I purposely put it.
Liquor and horse.
Yeah,
Butch is a good old friend of mine.
Oh, man, we love Butch. Had him on during the thing at Ben Jiggy that happened that we're forgetting about.
And it was hard to get him on because he was always so Thursday nights. He was always doing his thing, so we couldn't get him in. We took advantage of the downtime.
Man, what a fabulous time that was. All them recordings he's made from the Stagger Inn over the years, and how many people probably debuted on a Sunday night
we share a bass player. Actually, the original Skylark Brothers bass player is our friend Alan White, who plays with Butch.
Nice. Yeah, Butch. And
didn't he play with Yes? Something
he did.
Like
he was the drummer for Yes.
That's what I thought.
Bill Bruford and him, I think.
Oh, man. He's a pretty good drummer, I'm going to say.
He's good. He's a great bass man and great friend, too.
Charlie Manson once said, the answer to everything is yes.
He meant the band.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I started listening to Yours is no disgrace. I'm like, okay. Mine is no disgrace. I feel better.
It is true. Hey, you know what's true? John Evans is going to be playing at George's Local Brew tomorrow night, 7 to 10 p.m.
Scott and Carl, 6 o'clock at the Loading Dock in Grafton. Sonic Tonic, 6:30 to 10:30 at Grafton Pub. Now, I know Jack Twesten's played at Grafton Pub.
We have, yeah, 3 or 4 times. I think we've been weathered out a few times. But
Right, I was going to say it's an outdoor gig, so it's threatened sometimes.
That's the one with the stage kind of right behind it there.
Yeah, it's kind of sits down low, and it's a double decker.
Right. So during not this during the flood, like 2-3 years back, I guess it was 2019. Saw Graham Pagano playing down there, and the entire stage was surrounded by water because of the flood, except for where he could walk out. You know what I mean? It's kind of set up a little bit where you could walk onto that patio, and it's like there was water on 3 sides of the stage, and they were still.
You have to take a canoe to get there? Or?
Well, you could walk out from the front to get to it, but then it had water on both sides and around back. It was I was like, okay.
Well, Graham's a good-looking guy, so he probably needed that moat to keep the women away.
He looks like Frank Zappa.
A little Zappa-like, yeah.
Steve Mellis every Friday night, I believe, at the Hog Pit at 7 o'clock. Dave Horton 7 to 10 at the Unwind Salon Spa Lounge in Highland.
Say that one again.
You brought that up a couple of weeks ago when you seen that. Like I don't know what this is, and I'm like, so I went and found a link just for you, Pigpen.
Did
so
you?
Yeah,
Okay.
go click on that and go get a Salon Spa Lounge action.
And
with a band.
And I'm going to unwind.
Well, you'll be unwound before you get there, so I ain't worried about that.
I'm going to unwind in the parking lot before I walk in, I guarantee it.
But the rest of it, the spa, all that, I can see spawn out.
Which your nails did. Hair did, nails did.
I'm sorry, could you do my eyebrows a little more? I don't even know. Can I get the Brazilian? No, I don't
I was figuring you were going to get waxed or something, so I don't know.
It's the Brazilian wax.
I'm pretty waxed right now. I'm going to be honest. My eyes got a fresh coat of wax, all of turtle wax.
Not
I
the
think.
wax you smoke. Anyways, Catfish Willie Band, 5 to 9 p.m. at the Long Shot Tiki Bar in Portage de Sioux. I believe Jack Twesten has played the.
We love that place, right on the river. Beautiful. Yeah, we just played there 2 weeks ago, and we'll be there again coming up sometime soon. I don't know when.
Sitting right there across from Elsa, basically.
Yeah.
So
A lot of transients there.
Hey,
you got motorcycles.
This is a PC world. We don't point fingers at
He
transients.
means the boaters, the bikers, and the.
Remember we did the investigation of the Hotel Stratford and all the ghosts? That's where I learned that word, transient.
Right. I'm a transient from
Plus
Pennsylvania. I don't know what's going on.
We played, I think, 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, the Blessing of the Fleet.
Yeah,
boats
that's coming up.
And
maybe this weekend.
It's right down from the big statue.
Yeah.
And our rivers, Lady of Our Rivers. The Lady of Our Rivers. There you go.
Hey, Shotgun Creek finishes up our Friday night list 6:30 at Grant's Farm in St. Louis. That would be cool to play with billy goats.
And the big horses there, the Bush horses, Budweiser horses. What are they?
They're Clydesdales.
Clydesdales. Couldn't think of it. Thanks.
Also, I forgot, the festival kicks off this weekend. Check out the name of this festival. The Greatest Float on Earth.
All right.
Some of our local guys. Yeah.
It's a float festival.
Is there ice cream involved?
Probably.
I hope so.
Hopefully root beer. Billy Nelson, Bongo Jack, Tree 14. They've all played around here, festivals.
Yeah, nice.
Flintwick. I don't know if that's like the headliner, but I thought I'd throw it in there.
Yeah.
Waynesville, Missouri.
There you go. And that's
Waynesville. Excellent.
Waynesville.
You guys are bad. You're nationwide. I didn't know you had that for a reach.
Oh, yeah. You kidding
Man,
me?
as soon as you said
Waynesville.
as soon as you said nationwide, I thought of Dusty Hill race.
God rest his soul. Yeah.
So. Okay, so that takes us up to Saturday. You want to just keep rolling?
Let's do that, and then we'll finish off with Mr. Twesten here and catch up with him. Let's blaze through this Saturday.
You can twist in my arm.
I'm twisting your arm to get blazing through Saturday.
Twisting the night away.
Alton Farmers and Artisan Market to kick off the day in downtown Alton, and Flip the Frog, 7 o'clock at St. Mary's Church this weekend. Jonathan Baker, 1 o'clock at the Brown Bag Bistro. Lester Floyd and Ruben, they're allowing him to play at 8 o'clock.
It's a good sandwich.
At Chez, Maryland's on Saturday night. Let's see, Nate Sickmeyer and Company, 2 to 6, Hollywood 5, 7:30 to 11:30 at Fast Eddie's in Alton, the Backwoods Burden, 6 to 10 at Chubbys in Alton, Pianos 9 o'clock at Ragin Cajun, Mila Ray Duffy, 6 to 10 at Morrison's Irish Pub in Alton. I'm not sure if this one's sold out, Pigpen.
Another Troy Taylor?
Yeah, I didn't see for sure today. I should have checked it. But Dinner and Spirits with Troy Taylor, if it's not sold out, it's called Hell Hath No Fury. Female Killers is his talk. Jackie's been putting this on every week for 2 or 3 months at least.
And sells out every week. $46 for the tickets.
He talks ghosts and you have a dinner.
Yeah.
So that's success right there.
Are there scorned women there?
I'm sure there is, man.
I bet there's going to be a few this time for sure.
Oh, man. The Owls, 7 to 11.
I don't know if I'm scared or aroused. I'm not sure.
The Owls have appeared right after that spontaneous paranormal situation.
Right.
And they will be playing on Saturday, 7 to 11 at Bakers and Hale in Godfrey. Q-Cats, 7 o'clock at JJ Thermos at Eastgate and East Alton. The Graham Band, 6 to 10 at Locke's Brick House in Bethel. Isn't it strange how Graham's not playing on Friday night? Something must be going on.
It's strange because he doesn't usually take many nights off.
Celebrating his birthday.
But we don't know where.
We don't know that.
We don't know where. So there we go.
Audio Distilled with Jimmy Strickland, 4 to 7.
Blueston Vodka, Meadowbrook. I like that. It says Meadowbrook. It doesn't say Bethalto.
I did.
Jimmy's another old friend of mine since high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Jimmy Strickland. There you go.
Is that name made up?
It's not, but he's a rocker. He's
all
a
right.
Great guy and can play the guitar, man.
That's probably an acoustic show under the tent there is kind of how they set up there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cricket and the Grilled Avocados, 1 to 5. And Whiskey Dixon. That name is tough.
Whiskey Dixon.
7 to 11 at Martin's Tunes and Eats grand opening, continuing on Saturday. That's formerly Chico's. We mentioned that.
And if you don't know where it's at, you got to know where King Louis is, right?
Yeah.
So it's right by King Louis,
Yeah.
right?
There's
So
a corner there. What is that? 143 and the Refinery.
It's right behind. But
Right.
like almost anybody who grew up around here went to King Louis and got a burger at least once, right? And stole the tray, went home with the tray, still stuck to your window. I don't know. Maybe
What
it's
is
just
that,
me.
9th Street? Or is that 6? That's 6.
6th Street, I believe.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's Chico's, formerly Chico's, now Martin's Tunes and Eats.
And they got crickets.
There you
1
go,
to
they
5.
got crickets.
Anyways, Matthew Franz, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Franchise in Wood River. Plastic Kings, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. at the Pump House in Wood River. Colossal Wreck, 9 o'clock at the... that's the drummer from Hooky.
Is it? I like that name, Colossal Wreck. It sounds like most of the bands I've been in.
Some of the guys from Amped Up, which is / some of the guys from Cabin Fever.
There you go.
They're going to be at the Refinery Bar in Wood River. Here's one of your buddies.
Crider, 7 to 10 p.m. up at George's local brew in Jerseyville.
That's on Saturday. Synergy, 3 to 7 at Grafton Winery. Fireside, 2 to 6 at the Hog Pit in Grafton. The Truckers, 6 o'clock at the Loading Dock in Grafton. Boulder Dash Duo, 2 to 6, and Exit 52, 7 to 11 at the Grafton Pub. And the Outlaw Opry, 7 o'clock at the Oyster Bar in Grafton. That's one page for Saturday. We got another page.
We got Jake Weber and the Lonesome Drifters at the Gold Bar Rustic Retreats in Grafton. That's happening Saturday.
Right, Borderline 6 to 10 at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield. Have you played Wild Pickens yet?
Haven't been there yet either.
Oh, that sounds like a good place for you guys to
reached
check
out to them once. We just haven't gotten the foot in the door yet.
They definitely book in advance, so you'd probably have to do it that way. But Mike Keller, Rob Hintz, and Andrew Wilkie, 5 to 8 at the Stagger Inn in Edwardsville on Saturday. Dave Horton, 2 o'clock at the Foundry in Edwardsville. The Poor Dirty Astronauts do their, I think it's their first show at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville, 6 to 9.
I like that name, the Poor Dirty Astronauts. That's a good name.
Danny Callaher, 2 o'clock at Bella Vista Winery in Maryville. Bill, I think that's Pisa. That's how Travis's name was spelt, right? The drummer that was in my band?
Bill Pisa.
I think that's how you do it. It's Puhse.
That is Latin for something very dirty, though.
He's really tall and leans to the left.
The leaning Bill of Pisa will be playing at the cabin at Judy's Creek.
You can find out for yourself at 7 o'clock at the cabin at Judy Creek and Glen Carbon on Saturday. Worth the fight, 9:30 at Patrick's in Granite City.
Nice.
Here's the big show that everybody's been talking about all summer long. That 70s rock show.
Yep.
Starring Foghat.
Right?
Possibly Black Oak, Arkansas.
50-50 chance.
Yeah.
from what I've learned about them.
Dandy to the rescue.
Yeah, from what I have learned
could
about
be.
them, there's
It
a
could be.
50-50 chance they'll show up. But there's also
remember
Derek's.
Derek St. Holmes, right?
Yeah,
That's the
Derek
guy
St.
that
Holmes.
sang Stranglehold, right?
Yes.
And then the Montrose tribute band, Rock the Nation, kicks it off at 4 o'clock. Steve Scorpion had to bail on that.
Yeah,
gig.
apparently there's some contract issues on that one.
issues.
Sorry to see Steve not part of that because
Right.
he should be right in there with him.
I did hear that Bonnie Bramlett will make an appearance, and I'm thinking, if you're Bonnie Bramlett and, Black Oak, Arkansas and Foghat are playing, they're going to know who she is.
If they
better.
if they don't, they should go home.
Right, exactly.
No offense, guys.
So, but Bonnie Bramlett show could break out, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'd invite her up. You know what I'm saying?
I'd invite her over for a nightcap night.
Man, she can still wail, man.
She's got great pipes.
You got to
yeah.
check out the Dave Toretta video. It's Forest Wood Boys and Friends. The song is called "Let's Stay Together."
Yeah.
She's singing on there with Michael McDonald.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a couple top-notch
Yeah,
singers.
Dave
right
produced that whole thing virtually too. So
Yeah.
Nice.
he had Michael out in L.A.
Out
or
there,
whatever,
right.
doing it via some glorified Zoom or something.
I was just listening to some Bonnie and Delaney. I actually played one on KDHX just Tuesday, 2 days
Nice.
ago. Played an old Bonnie and Delaney on there. But I've been checking
Great
them
stuff.
out, man. That
Great
girl can,
stuff.
That girl can sing. Oh, yes.
Yeah, and last time they were on, we were talking about Dave Toretta's release, "My Isolated Bar," right? Which you checked the
yeah,
video
yeah,
out
yeah.
and really enjoyed.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah,
That
we
was
all
a
did
neat-
that kind of virtually too. Just we kind of phoned it in.
Right, but it was a neat concept for the moment in time.
yeah.
It was perfect. So there you go. What else we got going on? Money Shot.
Well,
8 p.m. to 12 a.m. at Deutz Village. And that's always a Friday, Saturday gig when you get the weekends. there.
This show's brought to you by Matt Van Borst and Macias Insurance, and
Yes.
also by Halpin Music Company.
Yes,
I
it
just want
is.
to point that out.
Yes, it is.
I
Anyways,
bought my first amp at Halpin Music in
you remember what-
1974.
they made amps back then?
It was used, but
Do you remember what kind of amp it was?
I still have it.
Really? You still have your first
I
amp?
still have
Is
my
it in the
first amp.
back of your Skylark?
It is not. It is a PV Deuce, and it was popular with pedal steel guitar
I,
players.
Graham Pagano has a Deuce. I borrowed that sucker from him for years.
heavy.
Big 215, a big combo amp. That's why it sounded good, but I gave it back to him because I got tired of carrying the thing around.
I used to carry it into Stagger in once a month years ago, and it was.
I call that the atomic punk amplifier because you take the flange and you crank it up on that thing
And it
and you
sounds
rub
like-
your hand across the strings like this. And that's the intro to atomic punk because Eddie Van Halen used a
Yeah.
PV Deuce for
Yeah.
that.
It actually had a really nice phase shifter built into it too.
I actually dropped that Deuce. Oh, wait a minute. it still worked. It was
Gene
amazing.
Simmons
Worth
said
the
she's
drummer.
worth a deuce.
So, yeah. Man, that's amazing. So here's the thing with it I've just realized about you, Jack. You're a hoarder. You still got the old
Been talking to my
Skylark.
wife?
Yeah, you've got the old Skylark. You got your first amp. Like, who has that kind
Well,
of
you know,
stuff?
if it works.
Right.
Although, how we all say we don't want to become our fathers, when we're younger.
Yeah.
My dad, we had this old crank lawnmower for years and years and years. I'm like, can't we get a new lawnmower? But it still worked,
Yeah.
He was right.
It
And
still
the older
works.
I get, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Do you know there's
Still runs.
a World's Fair in Prairie Town this weekend?
Is that right?
Yeah,
I did not
What?
know that.
that's true. Flatliners playing 8:30 to 12:30 at the Prairie Town World's Fair in Warden.
I heard they're going to introduce ice cream to the world.
And hot
Probably
dogs.
true.
And hot dogs, right? They're going to have a big Ferris wheel. I don't know what's going on.
I don't think Steve Ewing's going to be there. I don't know where the hot dogs come up, but that's who I think of.
Steve's got a
I
good
think of
dog.
the first adult film I made. No.
If you have the urge for a dog, go see Steve.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
definitely has
fabulous.
the good dogs there. So there you go. So Flatliner's going to be playing at that World's Fair from 8:30 to 12:30.
Yeah, the Vault's going to be playing Saturday as well from 3 to 7 at the Long Shot Tiki Bar in Portage Day, Sue. That's the mayor of Pontoon Beach.
There you go. Mayor of Pontoon Beach visiting another town.
You're
what?
welcome, Randy. I got in that gig.
Yeah.
That's some like nice. Jack's like, I got that gig for him. I get 10%, man. Come on, where's my check?
I hope it doesn't rain on you, Randy.
See, he's an entrepreneur just like Steve Ewing.
right.
Check this out. Rogers, Nienhuis, Mondin, and Graves. And I don't think Paul Graves has played out in a while.
No,
They're not
I've
playing
been trying
it.
to get him back out to to fill in and play when Dave's out.
Yeah.
And, other than that, he told me that's the only one he's going to do for a while. So
but that
it'll be a rare grave sighting.
Rogers, Nienhouse, Mondine, and Graves. Now, they're not playing at Chubby's, but I'm feeling it a little bit right now, just from that lineup.
That's with the big band, that's 4 and 20. You know,
right.
Actually, I did their first
it's like a third
demo
of the
video right up here at Max, when they got it going.
Normally 4 people would be a full band, but in the 4 and 20 tribute band, that's like a fourth of the band, or a third of the band.
Just sampling.
Yeah.
Anyways, where are they playing? Lafayette Square in St. Louis, 6 to 9.
There you go.
All these people are like,
what day is that?
That's
Saturday.
They're still on Saturday.
Yeah, we're on Sunday now because on Sunday.
Well, wait, can I throw in on Saturday?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're playing our first debut performance, the Skylark Brothers, at Mount Pleasant Winery. At 5 p.m.
Nice.
On Saturday the 14th.
There you go, Saturday the 14th.
So anybody out that way, Augusta, Missouri, come on by.
Right.
We have a huge listening audience in Augusta.
I figured you did.
I wasn't sure if that was Illinois or Missouri. I'm glad you cleared that up. How about Hermanos? You're playing there on Friday the 20th.
Cuatro
right?
Hermanos.
Where's that at?
In Mexico.
That is Edwardsville. Well, I guess it's Glen Carbon, technically. Did you ever go to the old Neruda restaurant, which is a really fine restaurant?
No, they won't let me in most restaurants.
Kind of right there on 157 and Meridian Road. There's
Okay.
It's kind of back in a little strip mall there, but good Mexican and
not far from the old Yondola cabin. No.
Yonda log cabin. Yeah.
Right.
Right, and then next Saturday, the 21st, you're playing that bike race, right? The Criterium.
We are playing at Recess Brewing. We'll be on one end of the street, out in front of Recess Brewing for the Edwardsville Criterium bike race, 2 to 5.
Have you ever played that? What's going on there? They shut down the streets, right?
Yes,
we haven't. I've known the organizers for years, and we haven't been able to get in. My friends, Robert Perry Band, are playing, I think, on the other end of the street.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people playing. I guess all the bars are kind of be involved in that. So what that means when I see
we're going to try to turn up louder than them.
I've only been to one of those. They shut the streets down for a bike race. They have a stage at both the starting end and the ending end of the race, and then all the businesses between try and participate.
It's become a big event. I was there the first year shooting still pictures, and then I think 2 or 3 years ago, a guy went through the fence, which was not good.
Wow.
They had to airlift him out.
So you could see some of that George Carlin action that he likes to see. You know, I like to see crashes when I go to races. He's like, I don't care how many times they go around the track.
Don't wish for it, but if it happens,
hey, look, I got the guy's head. No, wait a minute.
That's a pretty cool event. I'd read up on it, and I was like, wow, check this out, man. They shut down the streets and have a bike race.
And they had like serious. The one year I went to it, they had serious professional stages up there. It wasn't like, they're just like playing off on the sidewalk.
It's everything from if you're a weekend hobbyist bike rider and you want to go get in it, you can get into it. But then there's people that come from all over that are professional racers.
And then apparently bands playing all over town too. That sounds like my kind
Recess
of thing.
Brewing, Skylark Brothers, 2 to 5.
Nice,
right.
Nice. And the Skylark Brothers are going to be at Chubby's.
So you guys are playing at noon at the Criterium, right, at Recess?
Well, it started out at noon, but they pushed us back because they discovered, I guess through reading somewhere, that the race doesn't start that early.
Okay.
So, which was good for us musicians because, noon start means you got to be there earlier. So we'll start at 2 to 5. Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering because you got a gig later that night, right, at Chateau Le Bain, all the way in Columbia. What are you going to get on a plane and fly to Columbia?
Well, I told the boys in the band, okay, you're going to have to help me wrap some cables today.
There was this organization in the area that flew to Columbia quite a bit.
Yeah.
Called the company?
They were the company.
Oh, yeah.
They had planes coming and going.
That's Columbia, Illinois.
That was Pablo Escobar's buddies, right?
And then the 22nd, you're at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville, right?
Am I?
Oh, yeah, that's what your schedule said.
I don't have that on here. But
and just to finish up the month.
Thank you, Dennis.
Friday the 27th at Reese's, 6 to 9 in Edwardsville. And then you mentioned the Brown Bag Bistro.
Yeah, that'll be the full band.
Have a bistro
right down the street.
And a Twesten.
There you go.
4 to 8 right here in Alton. So.
Right on. That is the Skylark Brothers monthly lineup, man.
And the Skylark Brothers on Facebook. It's that simple.
It is that simple. There's actually a website, too, www.skylarkbrothers.com.
Nice.
But it takes you right to the Facebook page.
Oh, does it really?
Hey, why not? No, that's a good idea.
My friend John Seven did that for me a couple of years ago. He goes, I got you the domain name in case you ever want to do anything with it. And I go, well, I don't have a website. He goes, it just takes them right to the Facebook.
That's
nice.
Fabulous.
That's
great idea. Listen to that, young guys. Yeah. Why spend all the money? Just spend a little and do it that way, right?
Well,
I'm down.
I like the idea of pushing everybody to one place also, because when you got a lot of people asking questions about an event or something, and they're on Facebook and they're on email and they're in your little texts and messengers, and it's like, I forget who asked what when.
And it's time consuming to push all that stuff out. But it's something you got to do, because there's people who are interested in live music that don't subscribe to Facebook, and that's fine.
I want to get to Sunday, but I have to bring up Danny Gatt. Because
Danny
that's who you keep wanting to bring up, and we're getting to the end again.
Pigpen's been asking you about Danny Gatton. I worked with Danny. For those of you who don't know much about him, he was a guitar player. He was called by guys like Eric Clapton and others the Humbler, because he was just that master of many styles. He was a hot rod enthusiast, so he would hot rod guitars and he would hot rod 32 Fords. And he grew up in the D.C. area, Washington, D.C. area, was kind of a crosstown friendly rival of another guy, Roy Buchanan, who I was a big fan of and saw live several times. But yeah, so I worked with Danny back at the Sheldon Concert Hall, and before he died, and we taped with 5 cameras his show, and just incredible performance. Unfortunately, the tapes were later thrown in the dumpster by a company I used to work for that retained ownership of the tapes. In the meantime, I get a call from a producer from D.C. area who had been working on her own documentary on Danny. I kind of had started my own after we worked with him, because I thought this guy's story needs to be told. I interviewed Seymour Duncan, who you guys might know as a pickup manufacturer, and he was friends with Danny. That's right.
I love his donuts and his pickups.
That's the second Dunkin' Donuts reference today. I worked with a guy in the studio today named Duncan. Anyway,
went backwards.
Danny was... some of the things that are going to be in this doc when it comes out, it's called Danny Gatton, The Humbler is the doc. So you can pull that up online, and there's I think a website and a Facebook page telling about the background. But
nice.
Virginia Quesada is the producer of that, and she had already interviewed Danny back in the 80s and had all this old footage of him, and then we had some new footage. I was able to resurrect a little bit of that footage that was lost, but he did things like in the late 50s he got a call from Jack Cassidy. They were kind of crosstown friendly rivals. Jack Cassidy, you might not know, was a guitar player, never played the bass. And Danny called him and said, hey, my bass player is going to be sick, he's going to be out, can you come and fill in for this 3-week gig at the Holiday Inn or whatever? He's like, I've never played the bass. And Gatton's like, 4 strings, how hard can it be, right? That old joke. So Jack Cassidy decides he'll come and do the gig, and he used Danny's bass player's rig and everything, and he played the gig, and he decided he wanted to play bass. Sold his 58 Telecaster and brought a brand new, at the time, 1960 P bass or whatever Fender had coming out at the time, and now he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a bass player.
Right.
Thank you, Danny Gatton.
Man,
see, if Steve Scorpino would have done that when Rick Nielsen asked him to,
right.
So I'm reading on the producer's blog about some other stories, and one of them was about John Sebastian, who
Love and Spoonful,
great writer with Love and Spoonful. One of my favorite early bands, because they were so diverse with everything they did.
Yeah.
But he wrote Nashville Cats.
Yeah, love
after
that
seeing
song.
Danny Gatton play in a little Holiday Inn lounge again, and not knowing who he was or anything, and went back to New York and wrote Nashville Cats about Danny Gatton.
And
so we went and interviewed John Sebastian.
That's beautiful.
I sent him an email, and he emailed me back and said, yeah, come up to my house in Woodstock and we'll do the interview there, which we did. Dave Toretta and I went and did it.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, when I heard that song Nashville Cats, I felt like it was wrote about like me, not as the player, as the guy who everybody's better than me. I should be the author of that.
He
one.
was John Sebastian.
Right.
I used to sing that song before I knew that story. I would think the same thing. There's 1,352 guitar players.
They're all picked better than me, man. Everyone. Yeah.
So you got a busy weekend, the Skylark Brothers, and your bandmates all getting well rested up because they will have to show up for these gigs this weekend.
Well, the nice thing is it's become a little bit like the Union Hall. I've got 3 or 4 different duos I can put together. I can go play a solo too for 4 or 5 hours if I need to. But
so what lineup are you going to have at Chubby's on Sunday from 3
Chubby's
to 7?
on Sunday will be my son Derek Twesten on the guitar and maybe a little mandolin if he brings it.
Okay.
Dave Toretto on the bass.
Nice.
And my old friend Doug Flory on the drums.
There you go.
So there you go.
Saturday will be
no Tyler.
Tyler on guitar on Saturday at the winery, and Steve Laux on the drums and vocals, and Dave Toretto on the bass.
And then, see, when he's doing these 2 back-to-back and has to fly over to Columbia, Missouri, he's going to have a whole other band waiting for him.
Well, it's Columbia, Illinois.
Columbia, Illinois. There you go.
No Blue Note on this schedule. Okay.
Right. So there you go. We got a ton more gigs, but we're out of time.
We are, man. How did that
Thank
happen?
you guys. It happens, doesn't it?
Another page of gigs for Sunday.
Wow.
So, yeah, things seem to be back to the N-word. And I'm not going to say it. I'm going to try to keep from jinxing us.
There you go. That is that. And I'm happy to see pages and pages of gigs.
Right.
It was so thin and non-existent there.
Well,
for
sadly,
just a moment.
national touring acts are starting to cancel already.
Yeah.
So,
well,
because of the variant and all that going on.
Sadly, and then I actually just had one. So I had tickets to a show that got canceled last year. They rescheduled for this year, and they just rescheduled again for next year. And I'm kind of happy. It's in Missouri at the pageant. They're going to make us wear masks at a sold-out show. And look, I've got no problem with people wearing masks. I'm not saying that. I personally don't want to be in that crowded of a building trying to dance and have a good time with a mask on my face. I'm happy. It's I want to see live music really bad, but I want to do it in comfortable environments. And I want to live, and I would like to do it in a comfortable environment.
Yeah.
So I say we all head down south where we can see outdoor shows for the winter.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah. It looks like we may have to migrate. Summer is closing down, believe it or not.
Those of us who think of hearing live music and feeling that vibrations as you're sort of going to church, we're going to have to become nomadic creatures for that.
I think so.
Future.
So keep up with everything at cottonmouth.org, including the videos, right? The complete list with links, and what a great resource for bands. Remember this, like if you're in a band and you're wondering where to play, it's all gathered in one place for free. You just go down the list, and if they're on that list at the top consistently, that means they're talking about your band in their club, and that's a bonus right there.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down right now because you told me that last time. I didn't remember.
Websites are a dying breed, because everything's funneled towards Facebook. People buy domains and actually point them towards Facebook.
No way. That
would
does
do
not
that.
happen.
That's crazy.
SkylarkBrothers.com might be one you want to try out for that. And you guys do a great job of keeping everything up to date there as well. And, I also encourage venues that are tuned in. If you need a band, same thing. You go to cottonmouth.org and see whose name keeps popping up. Chances are they're promoting. They're going to promote your bar. And that's how it works, and that's how we all work together, right?
That's great, Dennis. Hey, did we talk about Keep Live Alive last time?
Oh, I wanted to talk about that. It was on my list. Please, let's talk about Keep Live Alive.
Do we have time to talk about it?
Yeah.
Sure.
We save extra time for that.
Ron Stevens, John Sebin, and a whole group of folks that have been involved in the Classic Rock Preservation Society group, including Greg Haglund, who's worked for Contemporary for years. They had been doing this annual trivia night fundraiser to fund the St. Louis Classic Rock.com radio shows that are on internet radio. Going into the pandemic, decided let's not do a trivia night because we don't need a bunch of people assembled inside during a pandemic. So we collectively decided to do for lack of a better word, an entertainment program. So we did a 90-minute special in March, which Bonnie Bramlett was a part of.
Nice.
Danny and Pat Liston from Mama's Pride, a lot of locals that were involved. Dave Toretto and I did a lot of work. Tyler actually helped too. So we with Ron Stevens at the helm as director and executive producer, we put together a 90-minute special, which was kind of like a little bit like a Live Aid on a very small scale. Some pre-produced videos, but rolled into to kind of a live look event. And the goal was to raise funds, grant money for folks who have worked in the live entertainment industry, not just the weekend warriors, but more the people who were craftsmen at lighting consoles, sound consoles, guys that work at the pageant. Pat Hagen at the pageant opened up the doors and let us shoot there. We shot at the Fox. We shot at some mom and pop places around town. Tried to get as many people involved as we could. And we were, at the end of it, raised enough money to give away grants to, I think, 50-plus entertainment workers.
Nice.
So, I mean, the goal was, in the end, if we all get through this, or if we all got through this, and none of those people who were very instrumental in bringing us great live shows for years and years could go back to work because their either venues were shut down or they had to go work at
Kinko's.
In retail or something.
Yeah.
I was going to say the W word just because.
Those letter words, man.
We like to think it was
word,
successful and that some of those folks were able to pay mortgages, pay rent, and then go back to, working at wherever they were working. So.
Well, and for anybody who's in this industry, the live entertainment industry, for the venue owners, for all that, they've weathered a storm unlike any that they've seen before.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And now here we got this possible second wave. I don't know a lot of them are going to weather, so it's going to take a lot of support and a lot of projects like that to help us keep going.
And the thing is, it is ongoing. We actually have been having some kind of rap meetings about what can we do ongoing. So as one of the guys said, how can we keep live alive? So it actually, the video is still up at keeplivealivestl.org, I think, and there's a Facebook page as well for that. Two independent things, but one will drive you to the other. So they're still, I think, accepting donations. If you're a live music lover and you missed it when we did it in March, the 90-minute special is still up, so you can go watch it if you haven't watched it. I think it's going to be up for another couple months. So,
nice.
If you guys, if it's storming and you can't go pull weeds, go pull up Keep Live Alive St. Louis.
How do you know I do that during storms? I do that, actually. It's the best time to
the
pull
weeds pull easy.
They do, man. It's
wait till, hey, Dennis, wait till it stops lightning.
It's because the ground's soggy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Soggy bread. Wait.
I recently heard something I hadn't really thought about how an art scene stimulates the economy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's people move to an area because of the art scene. And, think about it. Young people are the ones getting involved in that and staying involved at a young age. And when you get young people moving to your town, they form families who stay in your town.
Absolutely.
And, so there's a good reason why live music and art is important in a community. So
and all the food service and other entities that go along with it.
The hydration stations.
Yeah.
Or bars, whatever you want to call them.
The third shoot bus.
The third shoot bus is up and running, so there you go. Hey, well, thanks to Jack Twesten, our guest.
Thank you, guys.
Skylark Brothers. What was the keeplivealivestl.com people should check out?
Or maybe it's .org.
.org.
If you Google it, something will show up along those lines.
We got to plug Dave Toretta's Casa de Toretta YouTube channel.
There you go.
Where you can check those videos out we talked about. So,
no, don't plug that. He didn't come in. He didn't come in. Hey, Dave, you want your stuff plugged? Come in.
I tried to get Dave in, but he's a long way away.
I'm teasing Dave.
Better be teasing.
He's gonna punch me in the nose.
But if you come see the Skylark Brothers this weekend, he'll be at 2 of the gigs.
Right.
So there you go. Excellent. So take that. Okay, good. He will be there. He's not here, but he'll be there.
Here's a good dialogue from Tyler and my son about playing a gig coming up. What's the pay like?
Deep part of the show.
Tens of dollars.
Tens. We stand to make dozens of dollars a piece.
Tyler says I've made less.
Man, what a cool dude, man. And I guess Feel is doing their thing, right?
Feel is doing their thing. They're recording still. I've heard some rough cut demos and stuff, and they're sounding great. They're going to be taking off, and It'll be who was that guy that used to play with the Skylark Brothers?
Yeah. Well,
what was that band that guy used to play with? It was the Skylark Brothers. Yeah,
remember that radio show they used to be on, but they got kicked off because they kept going over
because lightning struck the antenna.
Right. Well, it's 10 minutes past the hour, 7 o'clock here, so we're going to go ahead and shut this show down.
Thanks to our sponsors, Halpin Music Company, Mr. Matt Van Boris and Michael Crider of Farmers Insurance. You know what to do, everybody. Get out and support local music and art. We'll see you next week.